Okay, folks, let's, oh, I don't have my phone ready. Okay, so in order to get to pattern-collections.com, I just use my browser and run in here. This is, I've already looked up this week's string. String number 44 looks like this. If you want to get there, go to the home page, scroll down to weekly string. Did that click on weekly string? No, it clicked on pattern focus. Of course it did, because it's my phone. Weekly string. Scroll all the way down. There are 44 of them. Plenty of ideas on how to do strings. So this is this week's string. I'm going to draw it here on this page, string 44. And it's going to be sort of a swoop like this, and a swoop like that. In general, kind of like that. I just do that as a reference. I may or may not use it this week. It kind of depends on how the patterns go, but it's worth writing down, and I keep that on the side over here so I see it while I'm doing my next tile. And then I go down to pattern focus to find this week's patterns. Today is the last day of the month. I can't believe July is over already. It just like, can't believe this month is just flying by. Here's a cool one to do for the month. Look at that. It's organic. You know I love my organic patterns. It's called Astra by Jana Petrakova. I can't say it, I'm sorry. Names are frustrating to me sometimes. Oh well, I did my best. Okay, so first we're going to do a stem, and on top of that stem we're going to put a little oval. We can do that, right? Then at the base of that oval, the top of the stem, we're going to do this kind of a swoopy thing. It might be easier, excuse me, for you to do this arch this way and then an arch this way, rather than one line. And then we're going to do an echo or an aura, up and around like that, and up and around like that to make petals. And then coming down underneath, we're going to do 2 more little arcs. And do that same little petal thing 2 more times. And then it looks like right over the top of this arch, we're just going to flick our pen this way. It's not going to be a controlled line. It looks like it's a flick. And then you can shade. And you'll get these little lovely little things. You could see they've colored them. We'll just see what happens. It's going to, you know, do its thing. Do I want a border? I don't know, so that's why we'll put it in pencil. You can always erase it if you want. Put a little bit of a border in there, and then I'm going to draw those strings. I'm not sure I'm going to use them, but I'm going to draw it. It's like this, and then like that. Zoom in a little bit so you can see. And then we'll just start drawing. Which direction do I want to start to draw these? I think I may go ahead and follow somewhat of that string. up that way like that. And then I'm going to put this little stem and the little pod thing at the top of the stem. And then I'm going to do a thing like that. And then 1 and 2. 1 and 2. And then coming out from the bottom, 2 more. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. My pen is actually kind of thick for this. This particular pen is a size 03. And I have to remember that I need to draw a little bit bigger when I'm using the 03 pen because it's a pretty thick nib. So I'll do another one, but I'll do it a little bit thicker. And then just kind of flick out like that. Right over the top of that pod. And that's the pattern, right like that. Well, let me do that one again. I'm going to do it here, maybe. They're all just going to kind of come out of the same place, I think. It's going to come that way. Like that. Maybe a little bit more. A little pod. And we're going to make it bigger, like this. That's better. If I was using my 01 micron, I would be using, the little lines would be better. Just sort of organically make this little leafy bit. Like that. And then flick. That's what the pattern says. Well, that's what we did. I'm going to have one come out over here. Like that. And like that. Something like this, and then that part. And then I think I want one coming up here. And maybe I'll have it come on this side. Like that. And maybe this one's not going to have 3, maybe it'll only have 2 on each side here. because I really don't have room for that third one. Something like that. And then it needs something down here, just as a point of composition. I like that. That's enough of those. Maybe, should I put one here behind? Maybe so. Maybe I'll bring one up here. They'll be kind of attached to this little one right here. Oops, it's kind of weird. What I did there was kind of weird. Okay, so let's do one behind here. Like that. And then let's do like that. Remember to turn your paper if you need to make it easier for you to draw. Always do that. Okay, and then the little fuzzy bits will be a little bit harder here because I want it to kind of go behind. Like that. Okay, that's better. Compositionally, that's better. It needs some sort of like a leaf or something. Going to actually put some kind of leafy shapes in here. Just so I have that kind of thing happening. And so that I can add some in here. Something like that. Just fill in the space. I like it. So far, so good. Okay, so let's give this, how is it gonna live? Is it gonna live that way, this way? No, it's gonna definitely live this way. It was drawn with an up, a right side up. I'll put the name down here, A-S-T-R-A. String number 44. Okay, I am going to actually erase my string bits. Yep, I use an eraser. I give you permission to use an eraser because I am not a CZT and I do not teach the Zentangle method of drawing. I just draw. And you guys follow along. And that's it. Okay, so shading. I want to put where things overlap. Bit of pencil. People are, I guess there's new people have discovered my channel. I'm getting a lot of questions again about my supplies. My supplies are always listed in the description box below the video or next to it, or however. I don't know when you're on a mobile device, tablet, phone. I know it looks different than on the computer. On the computer, you would just click on the See More underneath the video, And there's a whole description box in there on my supplies and disclaimers and all of that sort of thing. Right now I'm using, for my pen, a Uni Pin size 03. It's a little bit fatter than I prefer, but it's one I have on hand. I always use whatever I have on hand. I'm using a HB graphite pencil. It's the same as a number 2. Use what you have on hand. That's the joy of this particular art form, is that you can pretty much use what you have on hand. I use a blending stump. This one happens to be a size number 1. I sometimes use this one, which is a size number 3. I'm sure I have a size number 2 around here somewhere. Just use what you have. Sometimes I like to get the smaller one out when I have smaller details so that I don't smear my graphite into areas where I don't want it to be. But I always want to use a blending stump and shading to get depth and dimension out of my patterns. If you don't want your patterns to look 3D, then don't shade. You don't have to. Shading is not required. It's just another thing you can do to make your patterns look different. You could color. You could use colored pencil. You could use crayon. You could use watercolor. Oops. I just put graphite where I didn't want it. That's the background. I don't want it in the background. So I use an eraser. I like to use a kneaded eraser because then I can make it into whatever shape I want. If I need to get into a little point, I can make it a pointy thing and then just go in there and just get just the stuff in the point. But if you are going to shade, I recommend blending because that's what gives your eye really fills in the darks and the lights if you have that little bit of blended. I think I want to put some here on this curve. I usually start with where it overlaps and then I add from there based on where I think, either where I think light and shadow should be, like in real life, or where I just feel like it needs a little bit of shading. You know, I go with my gut. A lot of this is just gut and instinct and just drawing. I'm not drawing to make it perfect. I'm drawing to make myself happy. And if you go with that theory, you can never go wrong because you're just drawing to make yourself happy. I want a little bit of dark right there where the little petal things come together. See, technically this is not a Zentangle, this particular tangle pattern, because it's too representational. It looks too much like a flower. But it is a pattern. It's easily reproduced. And I suppose you could do it without the stem part and it would look less flower-like. There you go. That was quick and easy. I am done for today. Today was the last one of the month. Now I get to change out my paper for the background for August. And yeah, August. I can't believe it's August already. My goodness. Okay, I will see you guys tomorrow. You guys have a great day. Go out and do something nice for somebody today so that you can make the world a better place. and I will see you later. Bye-bye.